What is good? Word on the streets, fam. We are here with a special episode today. We got something lined up for all you guys that like the culture behind the game, not just the 10-minute sprints, but also the grit, the grind, and the business outside of the court. We got a special guest here today. He's going to talk about Thrix, a first ever in the 3x3 world, a dedicated 3x3 agency. Can't wait for this one. All right, joining me today, he's been in 3x3 from the jump. It's Nico Widmer. Nico, talk to us about your journey in 3x3 and what made you start Thrix.
So, thanks for having me first, Bash. Great job with the podcast, by the way. Thanks for having me. I started 3x3 at the very beginning of the project in FIBA, 2013. I started as an intern and stayed there for over 10 years, working on the whole sports aspect, competition aspect of 3x3 within FIBA team. And I saw it grow from a small team of 3, 4, startup style, having ideas about everything, trying to change the world, up to stable, consistent competition system, Olympic discipline. So this was my journey in FIBA with 3x3. And for now a year and a half, I started working on the other side. So I left FIBA and I worked as a freelance. And I saw all the gaps and all the opportunities that 3x3 offers also on the business side. And I thought I would jump right into it and continue my journey with 3x3, but from a different angle, which fits me more today and is really in line with what I want to do, is to bring 3x3 to the next level, to help work hand in hand with all the actors of 3x3 to really bring it to the next level.
All right. Now, we'll get into the landscape of 3x3 in a little bit, but I want to know what exactly is Thrix and what makes it different from your traditional sports agency.
So Thrix is, we define it as a service agency for the 3x3 community. So the idea is that we are here to offer specific high-level professional services to the 3x3 community, 3x3 industry, mainly through professional teams, national federation that are trying to develop the sport, and promoters that are organizing events. So those are the three main actors or clients for us. And we want to offer them tailor-made services that will allow them to get to the next level. So what makes us different is that we are highly knowledgeable about what is 3x3. We are part of the community from the beginning. We know everyone in the community, so we can connect, but also we're part of the building structure of 3x3. So we know how things work. We know what works, what doesn't work. We have a lot of experience in different aspects of the game. So this is what we can bring. So the idea here is that we will offer specific services, for example, to a team that wants to grow their social media profile, for example. So we will work on their media strategy and build their social media profile with the idea of bringing them a sponsorship, for example. That's one of the type of services we could offer a team.
All right. And you keep talking about we, so I know you're here by yourself, but you got two teammates, I think known figures in the 3x3 world as well. Talk about them a little bit.
So yeah, we launched this with Gilles Martin and Wes Motany, two players from known for being on the court as players from Team Lausanne. This year also Team Lugano for Wester. But they are more than players from a very long time. And I think the people in the community that have been around, they know that they've done much more than just playing on the court and grabbing a lot of rebounds or making assists for Gilles. They are founders of Team Lausanne initially, and they work as GM, coaches, players, marketing manager, media manager of Team Lausanne for the past 8 years. So they've experienced a lot of things there, and they have all this range of knowledge that I don't have, which is being in the center of what is 3x3 being a team traveling around the world, meeting the other teams, meeting the promoters, and 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 yeah, pushing this Team Lausanne to the best they can for the past 8 years. And I think they are known in the community for being a team that has done much more than just playing on the court. And so this is a model that we can replicate to other teams, and they have this experience. So we put the three of us together as co-founders of Thrix Agency, and the idea is that we have a whole different range of knowledge and network that we can put together to make this service agency work.
Yeah, I remember very well the ownership it takes to be a part of a 3x3 team, and then I think those guys have excelled at it. They have gone on way longer than maybe other players that started in that era. So definitely a lot of expertise there. So you kind of alluded to at the start to the growth of FIBA 3x3 and 3x3 as a sport and the maturity of the sport right now. What would you say the founding of Thrix says about the 3x3 ecosystem that we're in today?
I think this is a natural step in the evolution of the discipline. So we've seen different steps. As a reminder, 3x3 did not exist in 2010. Nothing existed around 3x3. FIBA started the idea of a short format half court in 2010. They started building some ideas around this, and officially it was launched in 2012 with the first World Tour. And there it was still very amateur by
I
definition.
was there.
Yeah.
I was there. Trust me, I remember 7 courts and a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
Exactly. So FIBA was still figuring out how to make this work. And they did a lot of different things. We did a lot of different things to try to grow the sports, but with always the vision of making it a professional sport, the vision of making it a second discipline of basketball that is as legit as the first one. It's just younger, but we wanted always to make it as professional as possible and have dedicated players and a dedicated industry around 3x3. This was always the vision, and I think we built the 3x3 in this direction, but it's not done yet. So we are just in the first step of this. I see the teams have reached a certain level of professionalization on the technical part, let's say, on the sports part. What happens on the court? They've all hired coaches, physical preparators, etc., etc. So they reach a level of professionalization on the court, which is the first step, natural step. Now the next step is reach a level of professionalization in the structure and the framework that is around the team. How do you generate more revenue as a team with marketing, with media? How do you generate more following of your team? How do you create more revenue from events that you organize? How do you build a 3x3 program that attract more players in your country? So all those things are the next steps, and creation of Thrix is exactly in this direction. The idea is that we want to support and accelerate this growth. That is the next step, with professional company structure that can bring these different ideas and knowledge in the system.
And you talk about the knowledge of the system. Obviously, to grow in a sport of 3x3, you have to have an extensive knowledge of the FIBA 3x3 system, both off the court as well as for points and to try to qualify. So we've talked a lot about pro teams needing this. Would you say federations are also kind of the clientele for your agency? Is that somebody you're looking at to try to see if you can get involved with?
Definitely. For us, is I think the federation should be the driver of the development of 3x3 in each country, and that's also the vision of FIBA, to create a framework that allows federation to enter and to grow the discipline in their country. FIBA is not able to go in 213 countries and organize events there. We don't have the capacity to do this. Each country is responsible to develop their activity in their country and to develop their high performance program as well, to bring teams to the pro circuit, to the national team competition, to the Olympics eventually. So what we do with Thrix is to bring strategic vision to the development of 3x3, to make sure that federation are not approaching 3x3 as a side project, a side activity that you have to do, and you do a couple events in the summer and send your team around in the Europe Cup qualifier or Asia Cup or some events, and then you forget about it for the next 8 months until it comes back in the summer.
Yeah.
The idea is that we bring this strategic, professional, long-term approach of how to grow Thrix in your country and how to make it also a professional and money-making project as well. For federation is possible. Should not be an expense in your balance sheet. It should be a way to generate more revenue for your federation, and this is what we want to bring also to federation, definitely.
Nice. All right. So I think we've touched on this already, but I kind of want to, get it more specific. Um, what do you think right now are the challenges 3x3 players, teams, and federations face when it comes to professionalizing themselves more in this game at 3x3?
I think it's we are really in a turning point of knowing where to invest to make an impact, because the money that is in the system starts to be relevant. The prize money that teams are earning starts to be interesting and relevant, but it's not millions yet, right? So it's not enough to just spend all across the board and just push the.
We wish, but
We wish,
yeah.
but it's not there yet. So now the federation and the teams, they need to select or decide where to effectively spend their money or where to effectively invest their time and resources to grow 3x3. So I think this is the biggest challenge for teams now, is to know they are, as I said before, we reach a first level of professionalization on the court. And this was natural because this has a direct impact. If you win more games, you win more money, right? So the teams, they thought, okay, we will put more effort to winning more games on the court, which is completely natural first step.
Yeah.
Now the next step is, how can you generate more revenue for your team to make it a consistent activity and not just a year by year, depending on your results, by earning prize money? How do you find partners that can support you long term? And we say this across the top 10 teams. More and more teams are creating structure, are professionalizing players, giving them contracts and investing in long term with them. And I think this is the challenge for teams, to know where to put the resources and the effort. And that's what we want to do with the agency. And that's my vision, to say, we are supporting you in this process of thinking, where do we put the effort? What's the next step that makes a difference? And for us, a very easy first step is in managing the team. The team itself travels around the world, needs to book flight, visa, uh, putting the roster in the FIBA system, being on time, not missing deadlines, having the right jersey in the right events. All those things are little things that players used to do by themselves. But now the natural next step is that somebody takes care of this for them.
Yeah.
So they can focus on what happens on the court. So this is something that we can bring with the agency, for example. And that's, I think, what is the next natural first step to professionalize the team management and the operations behind the teams. And then naturally the rest will come, also professionalizing the media parts and marketing part, supporting the teams to generate sponsors revenue, so they can invest in their structure. That's also the next step, where I think teams are a bit struggling yet, because they don't know exactly how to structure this. And obviously the players are there to play on the courts. So we've seen, that's what is exciting with Thrix3, right? Players that are entrepreneurs, uh, entre, players. I tried to do something, but
There. Enter players.
yeah, and it's like, so they are both players and entrepreneurs, and they needs to do a lot of things, but obviously that takes away their focus on performing on the court. So the natural step now is to take away all those things and allow them to focus on performing on the court, and having a structure around them that can think for them how to grow the structure, and they just need to focus on performing on the court.
Yeah, if there's one thing that I've always admired about Wes and Jill, for instance, for Team Lausanne, and it's not even for instance, I've looked at them for years. Obviously, I've played against them in the past, but they're one of the few teams that have managed to pick up sustainable sponsorship throughout the years and support them and their team with that professionalization. They've been able to attract different players to their squad because of it, because they were able to offer a salary because of the sponsorships, not just because of the prize money that you win, which I think still in 3x3 today is one of the main reasons why certain teams don't make it as far, because the only money you can make is if you win. Now, when we talked beforehand, we obviously talked about what Thrix was and or is. I mean, we also talked about the fact you guys want to be kind of the hub for the entire Thrix community. Can you kind of allude to what that means? You want everybody to kind of be connected to you guys and through that succeed even more, or is there more to that?
Yeah, I think the idea is that we can be um, the central point or focus point for the Thrix community when they need something. Because I realize that there is a lot of interaction in the community, but that is not yet on a professional level. So a team is looking to um, for a training camp on certain dates, and they will just WhatsApp a few other players, call each other, trying to find a way to organize a camp, or they need a player and they are recruiting new players, and they call each other and trying to find who is available or what's next for you.
I still remember this clearly. Yes.
Exactly. So this is completely normal and natural that it's there. But my idea is that by the way we are connected in the community, and I realize this also just as an experience myself, people calling me to ask me a whole bunch of random questions, and knowing that I can support because I know who to ask. I don't always have the answer, but I know who to ask, or I know who is the right person to contact to make things move the right direction. And so I see this as one of our value. This is not only the only thing we would do, but one of our value is to be able to centralize the issues and find where to get the answers, or where to get the where to move the project in the right direction. So I think this is one value we can bring. Um, People know where to how to contact us, know how to get to us and ask the questions, and I guarantee you that we will know how to answer. Not like always directly with the answer, but we will know who will get you the answers. And I challenge someone to get to me with the specific questions without me being able to answer if it's about trick shit.
This is just for the people that are listening in. It's funny because I remember Nico working for FIBA 3x3, and then at some point, taking a step back, doing some stuff on his own. And every tournament I go to, he's still there, and I always ask him, Nico, are you on vacation? He's like, no, I'm working. So he's always around the game. He's very connected. Yeah, take that at that value. Look, I think we talked a lot about what you guys can offer. I want to kind of get your thoughts on the future. So let's take LA 28 kind of as the bar here. We're 3 years from now, a new Olympic cycle has started or is close to starting. The announcement that there are now 12 teams on both genders obviously opens the doors to a lot of federations to start investing more in the Thrix Street. What does success look like for you in the sense of Thrix, obviously, in 3 years when we get to LA?
I think if we are recognized actor in the trick shit community, as what I just explained before, as a facilitator that can help anyone with any kind of support or questions they have. If this is the image we have in the community, I think it's already a success for me. So we're not taking business plan, we're not taking profit revenue or anything like this. We are talking the impact that we can have. And I think if we realize that we were alongside certain federations that are getting to OQTs in 2028, or even getting to the Olympics, or even down the line getting a medal. And if we can say, okay, we were somehow part of this or supported this journey, I think it's a success. And again, it's not being an agency that was alongside the winning uh, gold medal winning team.
It'd be nice though.
This would be nice. That would be a good stamp for us. But this is not the only objective. If we can say that we supported a federation that maybe today doesn't have a 3x3 program, but has an intention or a vision to get to the Olympic qualifying tournaments, to get shots at qualifying to the Olympics, and we can follow them in the next 3 years and get there with them in the OQT in 28, this would be the best success for us, because this is the vision. This is what we want to bring. And I genuinely believe that we have the capacity to bring any federation that would start today with obviously interest to grow the sport and some investment ready also to put in the system. But I'm convinced that we can support any federation to get to OQTs in 28 with the right investment, with the right people in place. But we have the capacity and the knowledge to do this.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool to see over the years the federations that have done this in the past, right? Let's take Mongolia, for instance, a federation that dedicated themselves to the game of 3x3, an unknown country in sports in general, I'd say, and especially in basketball and 3x3 basketball. Started at the Asia Cup, but then got a team to the Olympics, and now the sport has taken flight in that country. Like I mean, you've been there, of course, but I've been there when the players are treated like heroes. Everybody knows about them. So that investment up front from a federation can lead to really cool things. Okay, we've talked a lot about Thrix, but I kind of want to get a list from you. What are the specific services and pillars you guys lean on to deliver those services to the 3x3 ecosystem?
Yeah, so the idea with Thrix is also to be very specific in what we can offer. So sometimes we say we can do anything you need and just come to us, but sometimes people don't even know what they need, right? So
Yeah.
you also need to give them a menu, and they go to the restaurants and they can check, okay, this is what I want or what I need. So we built 4 different pillars of services. So the first one would be strategic consulting services.
Mhm.
So this would mean building for a federation or for a team a long-term vision or roadmap of how to get to your objective, or first defining your objective, what you want to do with 3x3. I want to grow the number of participants in my country. I want to use it as a tool for development. Okay, we can help you design the roadmap to get there. Or I want to qualify to Olympics, and we design a roadmap. So strategic vision consulting, that's the first pillar. The second pillar would be more operational services to the teams.
Mhm.
So operational service, this means helping the team manage their roster online, flight booking, but also um, designing a proper season planning, right? Where should I play next to make an impact on my ranking, or where should I send my team to qualify to which event, those kind of things. So more like operational and structure of the season for a team, but also potentially for promoters, right? So a promoter that comes and just launch a new event. Uh, Wes and Jill have organized event. I've been to countless amount of events and been behind the scene of all of this, so we have
Mhm.
some knowledge there. The third pillar of services would be media and marketing services. So um, managing the social media platform of teams, but also creating a whole concept around social media for a team. How do you grow your following? How do you grow your presence? How do you grow your image? Creating an image for a team, the logo, color code, all those things. We have a bunch of creatives that work with us that are really good into this and can really dive into these projects with several teams. So this is one service we want to offer. And marketing being using this, growing this image to go to partners and then find sponsorship, like Lausanne did with their team, managing to generate value also for their partners, so we can help teams to get there. And so the fourth pillar would be sports performance services. So when we talk about sports performance, we talk about helping teams to organize their training, for example, before big competition, helping teams to find other teams to play against, to prepare before the start of the season or in between the season if they have a gap. We would help teams to find where to go to play relevant preparation or tournaments, or just scrimmages or training centers around the globe that we know, and we can connect with the teams. So this is one aspect. But also when we talk about sports performance, we talk about athletes and coaches development. And we also have a network of coaches that are willing to work with us to support new teams coming in the circuit, or new federation trying to build their structure, where we could send a coach to give a clinic there to a new team, or to even support the team during the season, coaching them, going to events with them. So this is the whole package of sports performance. A team maybe has the structure um, in terms of, I don't know, management, etc., but they maybe don't have the knowledge on the sports because they are new, we can also help you to bridge this gap of how to grow your performance on the court.
I think this is actually a really important one because you can see a lot of federations now starting to invest and maybe at a decently professionalized level already. But then the teams step on the court and they just lose because they are so far away from what the top level of 3x3 is now. So to bridge that gap, I think this is a really important one. All right, let's close it.
Yep.
Because I think this is everything we needed. This is good. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Look, I'm already excited. Thank you for dropping all that knowledge. I'm very happy to have you here, obviously, but I'm happy to have Thrix in the 3x3 ecosystem in the world. I'm hoping, obviously, that the level of the sport will continue to rise and that you guys are a big part of that. Now, obviously, people listening want to get in touch with you. So let us know, where can they reach you? How can they connect with you?
So you can check our website, Thrix, THRIX-agency.com. So this is our website where you can see a bit more in details what we can offer. And there is a contact form there that you can fill up and you'll get an answer less than 24 hours. We can guarantee this today. Maybe not in the future. Hopefully, this would mean we get a lot of requests. But today, in the next 24 hours, you get an answer. You can also find us on Instagram, Thrix Agency on Instagram. Send us a DM. We also get back to you as soon as possible. And yeah, we're just around. So if you are somewhere in a Thrix3 event, you might also just see us. So just come to us and talk and tell us what you need, and we'll be happy to support you.
Lovely. All right, so last one. Look, I try to do this to people, and they usually get caught unaware. So if Thrix had like a slogan, a one-line message to the 3x3 world to close things off here, what would it be?
Yeah, that's not an easy question, right? And I would have preferred to have our Gilles or Wester to answer this question because they are more the marketing guys that can come up with this kind of creative things. But I would say maybe I try to say we take 3x3 seriously, and this would be a way to say, okay, this is fun. We have the music, we have the DJ, we have fun, but it's also an Olympic sport and something serious where people are professionals. So we take 3x3 seriously.
All right. Great end to this. Nico, again, thank you for coming on the show. Much appreciated. Good luck with Thrix in the future. I'm sure I'll see you around the courts. And that's all for today. Thanks for listening in. Make sure to hit us up on Instagram at Word on the Streets. Replace the E's with 3s. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Whoa, Jesus, that was close. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.